Welcome to another trade recap video. Today is Friday the 7th of August and we're gonna go over the trade that I ended up taking today during New York on the Nasdaq to secure 1.5 hour on my account. Without any further ado, let's dive in. First, let me show you proof of equity. So still those 5 evals that I bought last Monday, 2 weeks ago. One is funded now. I haven't traded it yet. I'm gonna pass some more evals first. 2 of them are halfway and 2 of them are now $500 and $400 in profit. This is the one I traded today. That was the one that was halfway in drawdown, so now it's up. A bit unfortunate that I now took 3 wins in a row and only passed 1 eval on that and took 2 evals out of drawdown instead of focusing on the ones that were already halfway and passing 3 fundeds, but that's just variance. We never know what the next trade might be, a win or a loss. So regardless, happy with the way I've been performing. Honestly, it's been a really good week, 5.5R in total. So coming in the market at 9:30 a.m. EST, we could see that Nasdaq was reacting off these 4-hour gaps. We already mitigated this one yesterday, but the second one, we were mitigating it now, actively reacting off that. So for me personally, for longs, I would have wanted to see sell side being taken first, either that data low or London low. This 4-hour was not yet created, this gap, but it's marked out because it's going to be important later. And for me to see longs, I would want first sell side and then go to buy side. For shorts, we were basically ready to go lower since we were reacting off that 4-hour pre-market. We can see on the 15 minutes that we were creating a 15-minute gap. So when 9:30 opens, this becomes a 15-minute unmitigated fair value gap, which will become important. And then we had NFP, if I'm not mistaken, an unemployment rate. We had 8:30 news. That's all that matters basically. And we were closing actively back to fair price, pre-news price basically. Still had data low available. So when market opened, we immediately took out that 15-minute gap. And from that moment, I was interested in shorts, which is the reason why I faded this first 1-minute tap in. If we would have taken sell side, even if it was just 9:30 low, that would have been enough for me to take a 1-minute tap in here in this fair value gap to go higher to nearest 15-minute high. But since we did not take sell side, I decided to skip it. It nearly hit TP. TP, as always, 25 to 38 points. And it nearly missed 38 points on the next candle. There we go. And then it would have lost. But valid reason to stay out. After that, price really started consolidating. This 1-minute inversion would have been interesting, was it not that it was landing in an active 3-minute gap, so mitigating that. So that's the reason I stayed out of this inversion. Right decision again. Regardless of the outcome, that was the decision that had to be made. And then at 9:45, we take out opening range high. There was no possibility to get in there. No 1-minute tap in. And I would have probably not even taken it because we didn't take sell side yet. Then price was just consolidating. So this 1-minute tap in to go lower, I decided to skip it because this is just the price action I want to stay out. When price is in consolidation, what I want to see is time-based round liquidity being taken, which we did, so that's good. But I also want to see momentum. And this is not momentum. We have a pretty big wick to the upside, indicating that buyers are strong here. And then we have the 1-minute tap in from this gap, which would have been good if there was more momentum, if we were not in this consolidation. Again, that one lost, so that was a pretty solid decision as well. And then finally, right before 10 a.m., we get some momentum. We get a clean breakout and displacement out of this consolidation range. So at that point, I'm becoming interested to trade again, especially to the downside. We create data lows. Equal highs, with these data lows. So that's interesting. and we are coming from a 4 hour, a 15 minute and opening range high. So pretty textbook if we would get a setup here. Then 10 a.m. opens and we create this 4 hour gap officially. So more sell side to be taken, more confluence, and this is also 6 a.m. low. That 4 hour gap is 6 a.m. low. Also a good draw, especially when there is no consolidation, when there is momentum, it's a good draw. So when we had the 1 minute tap in right here, tap in meaning we have a fair value gap on the 1 minute and price taps into that. I entered 25 for 38 points. It was also aligning with a 3 minute gap, which is extra confluence, and price basically hit TP on the next candle. Very easy trades, very textbook, data lows, equal lows with data low, 6 a.m. low and a 4 hour gap and London low beneath, and 1 minute and 3 minute tap in. Textbook trade. And that was it for me for the day. So a good week. Traded 5.5 R last week. I think I traded 2 or 2.5 R in profit. So 2 good weeks, which I'm very happy with. Of course, it's on evaluations, so I have to make sure that I continue this form in the funded stage. The plan is to first get 3 to 5 evals passed at least. I think for Lucid it would be most interesting if I can pass all 5 of them, not necessarily these ones, but get funded 5 accounts and then trade them in rotation. In terms of longevity for getting moved to live with Lucid, it's more interesting to have 5 funded accounts, because once they move you to live, they will do it accordingly to how many simulated funded accounts you have. So if you have 5, you get 5 live accounts, if I understand it correctly. I'm gonna have to do some more research for that, but most importantly, I want to continue this form into the next few weeks, both in the eval and the funded stage. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend, everyone. Wish you the best day of your life so far. What that means is tomorrow is gonna be even better. Goodbye for now.